What's up, guys? It's time to get stuff done. If you want to be more productive, if you want to get more done in less time without all the grind and hustle, well, here we go. I'm going to walk you through a 6-step framework to help you do just that. Yo, what's up? Uriel came here and I just realized that I think I just missed the beginning of the intro there. But anyways, who am I? All right, so Uriel came, founder of Healthpreneur, and I help leading health and fitness experts like yourself create successful online businesses to create more impact, income, and freedom. And I don't just teach this stuff. I actually do this stuff as well. For the past 11 years, I built a multiple 7-figure online brand that has helped over 500,000 people around the world, has helped me publish 3 published books, including the #2 New York Times bestseller, The All-Day Energy Diet. You may have seen me on the Dr. Oz Show, The Doctors, and all these other places, which don't really make a difference. But I share this with you to let you know that I actually do what I teach. And I've quickly become one of the most sought after online business strategists for people like yourself all around the world, because I actually know what I'm doing and I'm not just teaching a theory. So anyways, today I'm going to walk you through a 6-step framework to help you get more stuff done. I'm going to whip out the whiteboard in just a few moments, but here's the thing. If you want to get more done, well, you have to be more productive. In order to be more productive, you need a bit of a system, a framework to help you do that. And the reason I developed this was that, first and foremost, my brain is naturally very scattered. So if you're a creative type like I am and you've got ideas and 1,000 things going on and you're jumping from one to the next, welcome to the club, because I literally invented the club, I think. So a lot of times we end up teaching what we need the most help with. And because my brain is just all over the map, I create structures and frameworks to help simplify my life and keep me on the right path. So I'm happy to share this stuff with you because it really makes a big difference. Now, what I'm going to walk you guys through here is this awesome 2-page tool that I call the Weekly Planner. Something I developed. It's a proprietary IP that I have. And if you'd like a free copy of this, here's how you can do this. What you're going to do is you're going to share this video on your page, profile, or a group. That obviously is going to reach more people and help us get this message out to more people. When you do so, I would like you to send me a message to this page, and I'll include the link to do so in the comments as well as in the description. Basically, you're going to hit m.me/healthpreneur1. Just let me know that you have shared this on your page, profile, or inside a group that you own or are part of, and I will send you the link to download this awesome weekly planner. The cool thing is that you can print it off like this, and I'll show you an example of mine in a second. So you can print these off, or you can actually fill them out on your computer as a fillable PDF. So that's yours. All you have to do is share the video, message me, and it's all yours. Cool? No opt-in required. All right, so let's get down to business here. Let's look at what it takes to be more productive. I'm just gonna find my, I don't even know what I'm looking for, but anyways, okay, so I'm gonna get the whiteboard. And if you follow my stuff, you know that I love whipping out the whiteboard. It's a lot of fun. I just like drawing stuff. Okay, can we get this going on here? Okay, somewhere there. Anyways, I think we're good, right? Okay, so first and foremost, when you're planning stuff, right? When you're thinking about, okay, what is it that I want to do? What is it that I have to do this week? What do I have to accomplish tomorrow? All of that stuff we're going to get to in a moment, but the first most important thing you have to start with is you got to think of think about kind of an inverse pyramid. Okay, so if we get this all on the whiteboard here, that'd be awesome. At the very top, you want to think of, what is the vision? What is the vision that you're working towards? Like, why do you do what you do? Right? What's the ultimate why? And get like really connected with that. Because if you don't have this vision, the vision is kind of like the guiding light. It's like everything you do works towards that vision, right? And unless you have clarity with vision, a lot of the stuff you're going to be doing on a week-to-week basis is going to be very unfocused and scattered. So I strongly recommend you spend time thinking about your vision if you haven't already. So for instance, with our healthpreneur business, my vision is to impact the lives of 1 billion people on the planet by 2040 to basically transform their health. And the easiest way for me to do that is not to individually help them, but is actually to help you, the health or fitness professional, become a lot more successful in business. So we're on a mission to work very closely with 1,000 healthpreneurs who, over that period of time, maybe even sooner, can 10x their business, specifically online, so that you can reach more people, make more money, and enjoy a greater quality of life in the process. Because if I can help you, the influencer, and you go out and help more people, then guess what? We all win. And that's my vision, okay, in a nutshell. So the next thing we want to do is we take that guiding light. So there's a lot of different planning methods in this world. I'm a big believer of you have to have an idea of where you're going. And then you have to have a really good idea of what you're going to focus on in the next 90 days. Everything else, you can just think of that as like a big gaping hole in the universe. Because the way and the rate at which stuff is changing and developing and new advancements technologically, all that stuff makes, I mean, like, you plan stuff out 6 months from now, it might be obsolete. It may not even be valid anymore. So what I recommend is, let's just say that this is a gap in time, right? And that could be 1 year, that could be 10 years, that could be 5 years. And we'll just call this time. Don't worry about this gap. Just know where you're going. And then let's focus on, we'll call this the 90 days. Okay, my buddy Todd Herman has a great program called the 90-Day Year, which is loosely based around this idea of like focusing all your effort in 90-day sprints, 90-day chunks, which makes a lot of sense. So anyways, we have our visions, right? So now what we want to do is we want to have an idea, okay, what in this quarter, right? What are the most important projects that we are working on? And again, if you're a solopreneur, if you're by yourself, I would strongly recommend you take one. Now, on this sheet, I'm going to walk you through this as I'm going to kind of bring this all onto the sheet in a second, but I actually recommend, well, I call them the Focus 5 projects for the quarter. But what I've recognized is that I have a team of 12 people, and even us at 12 people, we can't execute 5 projects in 90 days. So I would strongly strip that down to like one, like honestly, one objective. And we'll call this the one thing. So in my health business, I'll give you 2 examples. So in my health business, the one thing for us for about 4, maybe the last 5 months, was to get our total wellness cleanse funnel to become a 7-figure funnel on autopilot. And we got to the point where we were driving Facebook ads to this funnel, and it was doing decently until we tried to scale it, pretty high. And then it just wasn't making sense for us anymore. And we continued to tweak and test and try new things, and it just wasn't working. And I got to the point where I said, even though this has been our one thing, it's time to just shut it down, because it's not that the mechanics aren't working, it's the offers. It's too much of an ask for people to change the way they eat for 30 days. So what we decided to do is shift gears and solely focus for the next 90 days, actually for the entire year, on this amazing product we have called Uriel Kame's Energy Greens, and it's the healthiest, best tasting energy drink green superfood powder on the planet. And it's been our best-selling product for 2.5 years, and we're like, why don't we just focus on this? So we believe that we can hit 8 figures in revenue by next December, maybe even sooner, solely by focusing on this. So all we're doing in the next 90 days is building out or rebuilding out our marketing to really make this a massive hit. And so that's all we're doing. Like, we just said, okay, if we blew everything up in our business except for this one thing, what would that one thing be? So for us, content, we have a beautiful content platform that we use. We publish daily content. It's unbelievable quality stuff. So that is going to stay forever because that's the foundation of our business. But in terms of product development and marketing funnels, all of our attention is on the greens. So I suggest in your business, unless you've got 100 people working for you in different divisions, focus on one thing that's going to be the biggest needle mover if you get this thing moving in the right direction. Okay? So now that we know that one thing, we're going to break it down and go a little bit more granular. And we're going to say, if this is 90 days, if you can see that, we're going to say what is happening this week that we can work on to move us closer to that one thing at the 90-day objective, okay? And so what we're gonna, on this sheet here, on the weekly planner, so right there, it says, what are the 3 important outcomes this week? And so basically these 3 important outcomes ideally should move you closer to the one thing. And sometimes there might be some miscellaneous stuff in there as well, but for the most part, these are like 3 big things that you can do to move this forward. So for instance, going back to this. So one of our big objectives last week was to finish our new sales copy. Okay, so that would have been one of those, like one of the key things to finish was get sales copy done, and then we would send it off for a couple other things. Another thing that we worked on was to we looked into getting this bad boy on Amazon and looking at that whole thing. So that was another thing. And then there was something else that I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, these 3 objectives for the week want to be built in so that if you achieve them, you move closer towards your one thing for the quarter, okay? Now, from the week, you have your 3 things, and then basically all you're gonna do is, what are the specific tasks that are gonna help me make this a reality? So these are just little boxes, little chunks of time that, you know, each one of these would be a specific task, a specific to-do on your to-do list, if you will, that as you check each one of them off, right, either it completes the entire task for that week or the project, or it moves you closer to doing so. The whole idea is that we want to take this vision, right, use that as guidance to figure out what's most important for our business, for us to work on in the next quarter, and then break that down. In order for us to hit this in the quarter, what do we have to start doing this week or finish this week? And in order for us to hit that weekly thing, what are the specific next actionable items we can do to actually make that happen? Because we want to focus our attention here, because this is the stuff you can control. All of this stuff is basically, so everything above this line, this is a result, okay? And this is basically an input, where you can think of input, output. You want to focus on everything below the line, because all this stuff, like focusing on the money, focusing on whatever, that's all a result of the small actions you do or take on a daily basis, okay? So focus on this stuff. So if we go back to the sheet here, so I'm going to walk you through this. So we have our vision up top, right? So the vision clarifier basically says, what's the vision I'm working towards? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Next, we fill out the quarter's focus 5 projects. Again, I would recommend like just block 4 of them out and focus on one of them. What are the 3 important outcomes to achieve this week that's going to help you move closer to that quarterly objective? Here's another one that's really, really good. What are the potential obstacles and solutions? What are the potential obstacles to me meeting the weekly objectives? And a lot of times it's going to be lack of time, lack of focus. So this is actually a stained, I don't even know how that got stained or what that is. I don't even know. It's like grease or something. Yeah. Okay, so this is an example of mine, okay? So potential obstacles and solutions. So potential obstacle would be time. Possible solution, wake up earlier. Like seriously, like, I mean, I've been battling this getting up earlier or not for forever. And I had a good bout of time where I was getting up at 5 every day, no problem. And now it's like, well, I don't know. So anyways, if I don't have time, then just get up earlier. I've got 3 kids. They have to be at school at 9. I pick them up at 3. I've got 6 hours to work. If I need more time, get up earlier. I don't necessarily want to stay up later. A potential obstacle could be lack of focus or distraction. Possible solution, using the self-control app and hide my phone. So if you have the tendency to check your phone throughout the day, turn it off, throw it away, like hide it. Self-Control is a really cool app that is on, I believe, Mac. It'll shut down every website you don't want access to. So if you find yourself going from writing something to being like, oh, I'm getting anxious, you go to Facebook to see what's going on, you go to Gmail, you go to your stats, and you start repeating that. Self-Control is amazing. I don't know if it's $10 or free, but it'll shut down every single website you don't want access to, and you can never open those websites until the time has expired. Even if you threw your computer out the window and it somehow restarted, it still wouldn't let you on those websites. It would be like, oh, you started, you've got 13 minutes left. It's like, but it's really good, right? Environment will always trump willpower. So as strong-minded as you think you are, as much willpower as you want to put into it, don't even bother, right? Just turn it off. Like, just don't even give yourself access to those sites. So for me, I know that the tendency is to go down that path, so I'll just use self-control to shut off the possibility of even doing that. So the cool thing about this is that it's something I call it negative visualization. So you're thinking, and it's not about negative thinking, right? It's about being realistic. I'm a huge believer in positive thinking and believing all the good stuff's going to happen. But at the same time, if you get to the point where stuff doesn't work out the way you want it to, then you're caught with like a deer in the headlights. Like, oh shit, what do I do here? So by negative visualizing, what you do is you forecast what could potentially go wrong and how do I solve the problem now before it does. It's very similar to meal planning. If you have to go home, if you get home at the end of a long day and then you ask yourself, what should I have for dinner? You've lost the game. You're done. But in the health space, we teach our clients the best way to eat healthier is have a plan in advance. Do the thinking and sometimes the meal prep in advance. And we're doing the same thing here is we're doing the preparation, the thinking, and the solutions to those potential problems in advance. So when they do arise, we know what to do instead. So very powerful to do this. Okay, next we're gonna do, on this sheet, we're gonna track a couple measurables, right? So metrics that matter, right? Maybe that's revenue, profit, leads, whatever it is for your business. You're gonna write the measurable down to the KPI, key performance indicator. You're gonna write down what the goal is for the quarter, and then you're gonna write down what is it quarter to date. So if your goal is to make $1 million this quarter, where are you to date? Are you at $10,000, $100,000, to 1.2, whatever it is? You want to write that down and track that. And it's a really cool way to kind of reflect on what's been working or where you've been and see how much further you have to go. And it's just a really nice way of, like a little simple dashboard that you can just like pin up on your wall to keep with you. Okay, bottom of the page. Really important questions. I call these the 3 reflections. What has to happen this week for me to feel happy with my progress, however you want to call it? A lot of times my answer to this question is get my effing shit done and don't waste time. Like I literally wrote that. So a lot of times I set way too much stuff and it doesn't get done. So I'm like, you know what? Just get the friggin' thing done. And I get a lot of stuff done already. And people are like, I was having a call with a buddy of mine who runs Paleo Hacks yesterday. He said, dude, how many hours a day do you work? And I was like, about 5 or 6. He's like, I don't know what you're doing because you crank out so much stuff. Like, it seems like you're always working. I'm like, no, not really. I just work intelligently. So what has to happen this week for you to feel happy with your progress? Number 2, this is a very, very good question to ask yourself continuously. What's the one thing that you're doing that somebody else could do better? This is a very important question to ask yourself on a continual basis. Video editing, cool, right? No, it's a waste of time. Somebody else could be doing that. Okay, like stuff like that is not your unique power. It's not your unique ability. It's fun to mess around, but it's a waste of time if you're doing it. Setting up graphics in Canva. Probably other people who can do that for you. Maybe create a template and they can just duplicate it 1,000 times for other stuff you do. So ask yourself that question and answer it. What's the one thing you're doing that someone else can do better? And then third, you would answer this kind of at the end of the week, is what have I learned this week that can make me and next week even better? So one of the things you may want to write down, or you may end up writing down, is stuff like, well, I projected that it was going to take me this amount of time, but it actually took me like 3 times as much time to get this stuff done. That's a cool insight, right? One of the things that I wrote down from last week was, he who makes the most offers makes the most money. And this is very true. And I'm not a huge fan of like pummeling your audience with offers. No. But when you look at the reality is, you have to ask for the sale, right? You have to make the ask. Otherwise, no one's going to say I'm in. So he who makes the most asks or the offers is going to win from a financial perspective at the end of the day. That's more of a belief that I have than anything. As I think it's also substantiated with a number of countless examples. So that's the first page, okay? So those are some really good thinking exercises. Again, this would take you 10 minutes at the beginning of the week to fill out. So from the 3 important outcomes this week, then you're going to flip to the back side, and get a blank page. Sorry. You're going to flip to this page, which is in some cases the back side if you're double-sided printing, and you're going to fill out what are the specific next actions to achieve this week's outcomes. You're going to write down specific action. You're going to write down, what is the projected time? Do I think this is going to take me an hour? And then after you finish it, how long did it actually take you? Oh, it took me 3 hours. Cool. Because now I can look at, okay, sending an email took me a lot longer than I thought it did. Once it's done, just give it a check mark. At the bottom of the page, you have projected time for the week and actual time for the week. Now here is the big thing you're going to find. This is, I continue to see, I mean, this is mind-blowing for me, okay? So look at this. See that number? Projected time, 22 hours for the week to get the most important work I need to get done. Now, I guarantee this is going to happen to you. You're going to write down a number. Your number is going to end up being like 15 to 25 hours. However, the amount of work you're actually doing might be double. And this is where the real revelation happens, is where am I wasting my time? What is the back and forth nonsense that is just sucking the time out of my day? And when you start to really document that stuff and knock it off, man, your day becomes a lot more productive. And then you've got time to do stuff you actually want to do, because if you're only doing the stuff that really makes a difference to your business, it's not stuff that's going to take forever, right? Again, it doesn't take all day to do this stuff. So I'll just give you a couple examples from my stuff. Is finish copy and headline for the one-day marketing makeover, and then send this over to Nick to develop it. So that's more of his stuff. So I'm basically just like finishing the copy, and I had pretty much already done the copy. So I projected that was going to take me 0.5 hours, so 30 minutes. Next, record video sales letter for the one-day marketing makeover. Again, plus send instructions to Nick, our developer. So I projected that was going to take me 1.5 hours. That's still not done because for whatever reason, Keynote is not working on my computer. And then if I update to Sierra, ScreenFlow is not going to work. So now I got to update all these programs. Oh man, talk about things that waste your time, right? So yeah, so those are a couple examples. So again, you're seeing that like I write down the projected time, and then when I'm finished them, I'll put in how much time it actually took. So you can see down here, so for the greens, we said, okay, created numbers tracking sheets and figure out CPA, average order value, blah, blah, blah. I projected that was going to take me 2 hours to do. It took me 1 hour. Check it off, done. So again, if you want this sheet, it's extremely valuable. It's basically my own intellectual property. I developed it for myself and for my team. If you want it, all you have to do is share this video if you've enjoyed this on your page, profile, or whatever group you're part of or own. Get this message out to more people. And when you do that, just send me a message to this page and I will instant message you the place to download this awesome tool. So it's a super valuable tool. I mean, the cool thing with this is that if you're using things like Trello or Asana, this gives you a nice thinking, kind of a nice escape from your computer to write stuff down and think. And then you can always go back into Asana and plug this stuff in. So you would take like the specific actions and you would plug those in as tasks into Asana or Trello if you wanted to. Okay, so the one last thing I'm going to share with you. Has this been helpful? You guys enjoying this? Okay, awesome. The one last, actually, let me have a little sip of my greens drink here. Okay, so the one last thing is the number one way to be more productive aside from that is get out a little like 3M post-it notepad, okay? And what you're gonna do is every day when you shut down, so whenever you finish work, you're gonna take your to-do stuff for your actions, and all you're gonna do is in order of priority, you're gonna take out a little list here, and you're gonna write down, so if today is Wednesday, whatever day it is, I don't know, I'm gonna write down tomorrow, the name of tomorrow, in this case, Thursday, okay? And I'm gonna take 1, 2, 3, boom, okay? So if you can see that. So what's the first thing I'm gonna do on Thursday? What's the second thing? What's the third thing? I don't move to number 2 until number 1 is done. I don't move to number 3 until number 2 is done. Do this, I'm telling you, this is so ridiculously simple, but if you do this the night before, the day before, it gives your mind peace of mind because you've already written down what you're gonna be working on tomorrow. So instead of having to go through this list in the moment, again, you're doing the thinking ahead of time and you're saying tomorrow, I'm gonna do this first, then I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna do that. So you go to bed, you know, you don't have to worry about anything. Everything's already taken care of because your brain, your subconscious now knows that it's all safe, everything's here. So when I wake up in the morning, I can start my day and everything I need to work on from the most important to the least important gets done. A great book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog. He talks about eat the frog, right? The most difficult, the most difficult thing you don't want to do is probably the most important thing you need to do. So that's the thing you want to do first thing. And yeah, so prioritize, most important to least important. All right, guys, so there it is. That is the 6-step framework to getting more stuff done. I don't even know if it was 6 steps. Maybe it was about 5 or 6, I think. But let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know in the comments below. Remember, share this video in your page, profile, or group. Unless you're already in our Healthpreneur group and you don't need to share it because it'll already be in there. But if you want these awesome weekly planner sheets, again, it's basically a 2-page tool. You can print it out back to back like this if you like. Share the video, share this thingamajig, whatever we want to call it. Send me a message on my page and I will send you the download link for this ASAP. All right, guys, thank you so much. I got to run every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Eastern time right here, unless I'm on a plane. HPTV live. If you're watching the replay, cool. If you're on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you want to join us, be sure to join us over at healthpreneurgroup.com/tribe to join us inside the group. Thousands of other awesome health and fitness entrepreneurs growing their online presence. You can join us as well. And we got a big event coming up in September in Scottsdale. More information coming on that very shortly, so stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you then.